Welcome everyone to Ritualize Your Life Challenge. My name is Sharada Devi. We are at day 27. I said yesterday we were at day 27, but we were at day 26. Today we are at day 27 of our Ritualize Your Life Challenge. Welcome Christine, welcome Carmen. Hello, I am Harvitika. Kate, hello. Marina, Steam, Theo, welcome. Welcome everyone, and those that are going to watch the recording. Thank you again for all the love, and I'm so happy that these initiations are landing so deeply. The last two ones were so very dear to my heart and dedicated to the ancestors, yesterday dedicated to the animals, and so today is dedicated to the plants. Let's take this opportunity to invoke Ganesha, the remover of obstacles, or that which removes obstacles, the principle of removing obstacles, and invoking Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, for this initiation. Hello Ulrika, Amanda. And I am here back in Switzerland. I arrived safely. Good to be here in the Alps. Wanted to show you. I don't know if you can see. But it's there. The Alps. This is where I grew up, in Davos, the mountain girl. Let's chant. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Aim Hrim Om Saraswatye Namaha. Aim Hrim Om Saraswatye Namaha. Aim Hrim Om Saraswatye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. So, welcome Jasmine. Hello Amelia. Hello Gwanza. The plants. So it is important, according to the Vedic teachings being the body of knowledge, an ancient body of knowledge that comes from India. Hello Giovanella. And it is a body of knowledge that belongs to all people. Even though it comes from India, we say it comes from India, but really in the Veda or in India we say it comes from Bhagavan. It comes from the universe. Hello. It comes from the God. It comes from the goddess. It comes with every cycle of creation. This body of knowledge is given to us. And it's a body of knowledge that serves us as human beings profoundly to accomplish the four human goals the four human goals, which we call Purushartha. Purushartha means the four human goals that every human has. What are those goals? The first one, we all want security. Second one, we all want happiness. The third one, we all want to improve our life. And the fourth one is when we see the defect of the first three ones, we discover that what we really want is freedom. According to Veda, this body of knowledge, which comes with every cycle of creation from the universe, helps us to fulfill those four goals, to gain the maximum security, the maximum happiness, the maximum refinement, and freedom ultimately. And so I've been with these teachings for the last 20 years. I'm 40, if you question or ask how old I am. 20 years, 2 decades, I have dedicated my life to the Vedic teachings, even at 18, so 22 years ago. I had my first journey, my first pilgrimage to India. And already then my journey actually started. Already then I was inquiring into yoga. I already then was reading Siddhartha. Already then I went to visit the Babas in the mountains. But like really traditional study is 20 years ago. But actually it started 22 when I went to India. And I had my first spiritual awakening there. that was incredible, where I had this understanding, discovery that really we are love and we are one with all beings. But it wasn't a grounding experience. It was an ungrounded experience. I speak about that in depth in my podcast that is called Born to be Free. If you want to know more about me, check out Born to be Free podcast, and there I speak in depth what happened to me in India when I was 18 years old, 22 years ago. That experience led me on the trajectory and really asking for the fourth goal, freedom. I wanted freedom. That was my goal from very young onward. And it led me to India. It led me to South America, where I lived 5 years. It led me to Bali, where I've been living the last 16 years. And really exposing myself to teachers and mentors and communities and cultures where they also want to know and be free and live as free beings. And so that has led me to where I am today, where I can show up today and share with you this ritual of, or this challenge of how to ritualize our life. Because it really, as I've been on this journey, one of the many tools and methods and teachings, and which is not really a tool, it is a tool at the beginning, but then it becomes a way of living, has been rituals. In the Veda, we really learn how to ritualize our life, because through ritualizing our life, every aspect of our life, the Veda says you discover your freedom. In that you discover freedom. And so I took that very serious. If the Veda says ritualize your life, that's what I did. I ritualized my life. And that has helped me to neutralize all my judgments, strong judgments. It doesn't mean that there are no judgments in my mind anymore, but it helped me to not judge my judgments. And it helped me to come from looking at certain things through the glasses of profanity, or that it's shameful, to moving towards everything in this life, every aspect of our existence is sacred. That's big, to be able to shift one's perspective from profanity to sacredness. Like, that's huge. Because the way we grew up as Western, in our Western culture, we grew up through looking at life through our glasses of profanity and glasses of guilt tripping and shaming and the glasses of good and bad, and deciding what is likable and what is dislikable, basically through the glasses of judgment. And these glasses of judgment, what do they create? They create distance between you and I. They create a lot of disharmony. And that's what we're experiencing in our life, aren't we? A lot of disharmony, a lot of fear, a lot of mistrust, a lot of war, a lot of corruption. And so, in order to live another life and live in another world, and with that I don't mean that you have to find another world and travel to another world within the universe. Now, with that I mean to create your own world within this world that we as a collective experience right now, like this world of judgment and competition and jealousy and corruption. It's very strong in this era of this cycle of creation, which we call Kali Yuga. I spoke about that the last few lives. We are in an era where this side is very strong. It seems to be very strong, and it is very strong in the relative. And so for us individuals, it requires even more effort, even more determination, even more strength and courage and will and effort to really create our own world within this world of corruption and jealousy and competition and war. And to create that world that we want to live in. And what kind of world is that? A world where we trust, a world where we look at each other through the glasses of sacredness and wholeness, and where I don't have to be afraid that you immediately judge me as soon as I open my mouth, where you actually have a sincere interest in what I have to say, and I have a sincere interest in what you have to say, and we both know that we are sacred beings, powerful beings, that we both have a lot to share, that we both have gifts, we both are powerful. How can we come together and serve each other and support each other and celebrate each other? Isn't that the kind of meeting you want to have with the people you meet? Where you meet and your whole nervous system is not going into fight, flight, but your whole nervous system is to it opens up in the presence of another being. That's what I want. That's the world I want to live in. And I know that that's the world you want to live in as well. And that's the world I have created in the last 20 years. In my community, my beautiful sacred sisters and brothers, the ones I meet them and my heart relaxes. I co-regulate with them. Co-regulation, it means where we help each other's nervous system to come into a place of presence. We come into a window of presence where we both soften and relax and find security within ourselves, but also within each other. And then our nervous system starts to regulate, and we are not in fight, flight, offense, defense position, but we are in a position of openness. We are in safety. We are open to receive each other. We're open to communicate, and we're open to hear what we're actually saying. And we're open to, and we're sensitive to what is behind the words. And in that meeting where we co-regulate with each other, our heart becomes wider and deeper. Our presence allows us to then be in a sacred dance with each other and nurture the creative aspect. The creative aspect of inspiration. We're inspiring each other and we become muses to each other, and suddenly we play with each other like when we were children. And we can actually truly appreciate each other, and we don't take each other for granted. And then this is a remarkable moment that stays with you, and it nurtures you for many hours to come, or many days to come, many weeks to come. This is the kind of meeting I have in my life. I feel very blessed that I have these meetings. But they didn't come just from one day to the other. It took determination. It took tremendous will to get to establish this kind of relationships. I had to work on myself, on my nervous system, understanding my fears, understanding my projections, understanding that I've had certain experiences from childhood that impacted me, and because of them I'm acting out, I'm mistrusting, I'm jealous, I'm competing. And I had to own up that I was a jealous person. I had to own up that I'm a competitive person. I had to own up that I'm insecure. Without owning this part up, without holding them and owning them, I can't let go of them. They don't dissolve. I cannot fully then step into the truth of my being, which is ever secure, which is ever beautiful and ever lovable. So it is work, but it's not that work that is exhausting and is not worthwhile. No, that work is inspiring. That's why I don't really call it work. I call it that sacred play, that process, that growing process. It's a blooming process of your heart. And it has paid off. Now I have an incredible community of women and men and non-binary beings where we actually meet each other, and there's still sometimes fear and projection, of course, is there, but then we both know, or the people that are in my life, they have the same value. They're also learning about themselves and meeting themselves and regulating themselves and then expressing if they're in a projection, and then we both can say we're both in a projection, and then we can both cry and hold each other or not hold each other, because we know sometimes we need to give space to each other. And so these communities exist. Like my community, there are other communities where people really have this sincere intention and wish and have created a world where we are contributing to each other, where we really are living in the vision of wholeness and sacredness. And so it can be very scary to step into this kind of containers or communities, because what will pop up inevitably is the voice in you that says, I don't belong here. This is not for me. And you still feel like an outsider. But there comes a point where you claim your place on this earth, where you don't give strength anymore to this voice that she, he, them who are separating themselves from the group or the community. No, I know this is not true. I know I belong here. I know I'm welcomed. And you move through that isolation, that loneliness, that separation, and you claim your spot in the community, in the container. You show up. You make the step. You don't wait for the world to come to you. You make the step. Of course, there's the feminine receptiveness, where we also are open for the world to come to us, definitely. We look at that in detail and in our containers as well, like that receptivity and that openness to be received, to receive the world. Definitely that is there. But I'm not talking about that. And I'm not talking about you being that masculine penetrative energy that just like I just go and get without caring for anyone around me. No, not talking about that. Like that goal-oriented, I'm just going to go for what I want and I don't care about anyone. No, that's the unhealthy masculine penetrative energy. We've seen that enough. So I'm talking about the healthy masculine in that way, we can say, where I know my worth, I know what I want, I know what is ultimately true, and I make the step, I go for it. And so that's the puja, that's the ritual, like that's what we've been doing by ritualizing our life. For those that have been now for the last 27 days and those that are watching this for the first time, the last 27 days we've been making this effort that I am engaging consciously, prayerfully in every step, and I make the effort, I take the time to be with every step of my life. I ritualize it. And then how I engage also in the world. And it comes with a certain attitude, an attitude that we've been cultivating now for 27 days, an attitude that is based on the vision of wholeness, the vision of oneness. And so what kind of attitude is that? Like how do you come to the world when you are standing in the vision of wholeness, of oneness, even though maybe haven't fully embodied that and don't fully know yet how it's true, but you trust in that, right? Then the attitude is one of reverence, one of care, one of how can I help, one of admiration. And so that's the attitude we've been cultivating. Admiration, reverence, care, sacredness in every step. When we wake up, when we breathe, looking that we were given hands so we can contribute in the world and do with care, walking out of the bed, stepping out of the bed, and with care stepping onto Mother Earth, not taking her presence for granted. Receiving with love the water so that we can drink water and nurture this body. Step by step by step, we went through our life, basically our day, to bring in the right attitude. The right attitude means the attitude that is conducive for our spiritual growth. What is the spiritual growth? That discovery that you and I are one being. You and God are one being. That's the spiritual growth. That's quite a growth. And that we've seen is an already accomplished fact. It's a truth that is, always was, always will be, something to be uncovered, discovered. And there's nothing you can do and must do in order to uncover their truth, actually. There's no action involved. It's simply a discovery and using the appropriate means of knowledge to see this truth. In other words, to remove the ignorance, to remove the wrong judgments, the wrong identities. So it's not really a gaining of something, it's more a taking away of these layers and these wrong judgments and these wrong identifications. And so seeing, where am I judging? Why am I judging? I'm resisting. I'm rejecting a part of myself. I see some profanities in that aspect of my life. Where does that come from? Is it really my belief? Or was that belief given to me? Am I ready to let go of that belief? What is my truth? So it's an unpeeling, a taking off, a shedding skins, a dying process to discover what is ultimately true. And then there is the aspect of a lot of doing. And we did a lot every day. Waking up, brushing teeth, taking a shower, eating food, lighting a candle, taking care of the animals. Today, taking care of the plants. There's a lot of action involved. And what are the actions for? To discover if I am able to respond to the results of my actions. Every action has a result. The result is either pleasant or unpleasant. How am I responding to the pleasant and the unpleasant circumstances in life? The pleasant, we are all spiritual beings, we're all free beings, we're all wise beings. And the unpleasant, how am I responding to that? Am I freaking out and become like a tsunami, a dragon? Reaction? Do I speak about it? Or do I just go into myself and then start to have all kinds of judgment, why things don't go the way I want? Or do I start judging others? And I want to know how I react. That's why we're ritualizing also our attitude in our actions so profoundly, so that I become aware of my reactions. I can own up, I am in a reaction right now. I am angry, I'm upset, I'm jealous, I'm whatever. The feeling that is there, it's there. And I have to own it up. If I don't, what happens? Another feeling will come, and then I compound this feeling, and then that feeling, and then this feeling, which was like one tiny feeling, suddenly is like a little ball, and then that ball becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and suddenly it's huge, and you don't even know anymore why you got angry in the first place. It's just suddenly so many feelings and so many emotions and so many stories. And suddenly you have so much pain in the body, and then there's a lump in the throat or a lump in your breast, and then we ask why we have cancer. Because we're not expressing our emotions, we're just building them. But we are ritualizing our life so that we can come in touch with the emotion, process our emotion, feel our emotion, and make love to our emotions. Make love, meaning taking care of them, nurturing them, understanding them, and recognizing that actually all these strong emotions, like all this pain, all this sorrow that I experience, they are there because of one single reason. What is that reason? You have projected your wholeness onto something or someone other than yourself. That's the whole purpose, really, of actions. Ultimately, for the spiritual seeker, for the one that is not yet, I say not yet, interested in spiritual growth, the actions are about getting exactly what I want. The money, the career, the fame, the relationship, the animal, whatever it is, the car. And there's nothing wrong with it. Like, maybe we all have these things. But am I going for them in this unhealthy masculine penetrative energy where I don't care about how I get it and I'm just going to go and get it? Or am I going to go about it with care, with love, with reverence, knowing that actually it's not about the money, it's not about the fame, it's not about the children, it's not about the house. Actually, what it's all about is that I want to be free. That's what it's all about. I want to be free. In other words, I want to be whole. In other words, I want to accept myself. That's ultimately what it's all about. I want to accept myself. And I want to accept myself means I want to be limitless. Because only when I'm limitless, I am acceptable. Right? And so every time you get what you want, you have this moment of gratification, of being limitless. We're so happy for this 1 second until the next desire comes. I want. And what I want changes. That I want, it doesn't change. I will keep wanting more and more and more and more and more and more. And no matter what I accomplish, no matter what, it will never ever satisfy this thirst, this hunger, this internal thirst and hunger. Because nothing outside of myself can fulfill this whole. Nothing else outside of myself has the capacity to truly make me secure or happy. In other words, free, whole, and limitless. Nothing in this universe can truly produce that. Because that is not a product. Wholeness, limitlessness is not a product. It is not a result. And I'm talking about absolute happiness, total wholeness. Doesn't even exist, total wholeness. Either it's whole or not. Limitlessness, it's not a result. It's an already accomplished fact, which is you. And so that has to be assimilated so that my attitude towards my actions can shift, so that my attitudes towards the outcome of my actions can shift, so that I can have the attitude of glad acceptance of whatever the outcome is. Because I need this particular outcome to know where I have projected my happiness and my wholeness. Only through this situation I'm seeing where I have still given away my wholeness, my limitlessness, my power onto something or someone other than myself. So when I don't get what I want, it's not because the universe or God is cursing you or doesn't love you or doesn't want you to have it. No. And it doesn't mean you're never going to have it. Maybe you're going to have it tomorrow. Maybe you're going to have it in 1 year, 10 years. And maybe it's going to be so much better than you could not even have imagined how good it can be. If I don't get it, and I'm a spiritual seeker, I look at it as, okay, I needed this situation had to be like that, so that I can discover where I have projected my wholeness, my limitlessness, my love onto something, someone other than myself. And so then this situation, the unwanted situation, it becomes a blessing. Isn't that amazing? It becomes a blessing, and that means there's no chance, there's no possibility for failure anymore in your life. It's impossible. You cannot fail. Freedom, relative freedom. We call that karma yoga attitude. It's the attitude of karma yoga, of doing our actions, karma, with the attitude of yoga, with the attitude of what I do is an offering to the universe. And what is given is a gift from the universe. That's the attitude of the true yogi. And so that's the attitude that I cultivate every day, every single action, so that I can receive what the universe has given to me. The universe has given so much to me, to you, to all of us. How much? How much has it given? The infinite. Just look around. Like it's giving us the infinite. Yeah, I like that. Like just for one moment, just close your eyes if you want. And instead of your energy being like penetrative and going outward, just come into your feminine receptivity, into receiving mode. And then very slow, you start to open your eyes and you start to receive the universe. You start to receive the colors, receive the shapes. And then go into your body and actually feel in your body how much you're receiving through the eyesight, how much there is. And just open, like, and for me it's like, when I do this, it's overwhelming because it's so much. It's so much that we're receiving constantly. And slowly have your eyes open. Can you let God in? Can you let the goddess in? Can you let the universe in? And of course we get to discern, right? Because certain people have a background for their behavior and they're acting out or judging and projecting, so you gotta keep sacred borders. But you can let in the air, you can let in the sun through the sunlight, you can let in your touch, and you can let in the waters, you can let in the green trees. So much is given. So much, infinite, that infinite is given. And so the yogi, the tantrika, the Vedantin, the spiritual person, the truth is everyone is a spiritual person. There are no non-spiritual person. We all are a spiritual being, really. But not everyone would call themselves a spiritual being. But the truth is we all are. But for the one that considers themselves and would call themselves a spiritual being, they are aware that the infinite is given. And so they cannot but give back. They even know that they're not actually giving anything because they're not the creator of anything. Everything is given, so I'm not giving anything. I'm giving as though. And how am I giving? Like through honoring what is given, through honoring my eyesight, how we have done, through honoring my possibility of speaking, through honoring my possibility and gift of being able to walk. And so that's how my life becomes a ritual. It's that ritualistic living is this deep understanding that everything is given. I am given, you are given. We cannot but give back. And so here we are in our Sacred Ritualize Your Life Challenge, 27 day. And this 27 step dedicated to the plants. So to give back to the plants. Thank you, Leah Valentina. Yesterday we saw the truth, according to Vedic vision, is that we are whole, that we are one and the same being. And that takes its time to discover. In other words, to unpeel all the wrong judgments we have made upon ourselves. And in the process, we ritualize our life. We engage in action with the right attitude. And it says that do these 5 sacred daily offerings. Who remembers them? Who was there yesterday? The 5 sacred daily offerings, the Pancha Mahayajñahas, to establish, to maintain, to sustain cosmic harmony. What is cosmic harmony? A harmony between all living beings, between all beings. A sacred symbiosis where it's not give and take, but it's win-win, where we meet each other in honor, in reverence. Like I mentioned at the beginning, where we come and co-regulate and we contribute, we celebrate, we support each other, we bloom, we mirror each other. So that's cosmic harmony in a nutshell. And in order to maintain, sustain cosmic harmony, the Veda says, do these 5 daily offerings. In Bali, where I've been living for the last 16 years, that's a daily, that's their life. They're in constant yajna, in constant offering, and honoring the unseen and the unseeable. That which is not seen with our naked eye is called the nishkala, the unseen world. And the unseen world is so much bigger than the seen world. And so we propitiate the unseen world and the seen world, of course, through these 5 daily offerings. The first one yesterday we saw is Deva Yajna. I'm just going to go very briefly through them. You can hear more about it in the yesterday live. It's in my feed. Deva Yajna, to honor the self-shining beings, the form of the 5 elements. The Pitra Yajna, the offering to our ancestors, to the elders, to our parents. Without them, we wouldn't be here. Rishi Yajna, the honoring of the sacred seers, the ones that have seen these truths, passed on the truths being the vision of wholeness, the truth that we are whole and sacred and limitless. And so we study, we teach to continue the lineage. Then Manusha Yajna, the offering to our community, to our friends, in whatever way we can, help each other to find safety again in each other's presence, nurture each other, feed each other. And then the 5th one is Bhuta Yajna, which is dedicated to all the animals and the plants. So yesterday was to the animals, and today is to the plants. So in India, it's tradition, most families have a tulsi plant in their home, tulasyai, a sacred basil, and there's Krishna tulsi, and there's Vishnu tulsi. Krishna is the dark one, and Vishnu is the green one. I have 2 different types. Maybe there are more types, but those are the ones usually there. We also have them in Bali, eloquently. It's a very healthy, it's a medicine, has many properties. Good for digestion, good for breathing. And so just like tulsi, there are countless medicinal plants in our gardens that we are not even aware of. Maybe some of you are. Some of you maybe know much more than I do. I know some basic plants, and I love plants and also flowers. And all these flowers and flowers and plants have an incredible healing capacity. For those that study Ayurveda or the herbal queendom, like it's incredible, all this natural medicine that once upon a time was our medicine. Then it was taken away from us. It was forbidden even to work and heal with plants in Europe. Thanks God, this was not like that in India. And we still have this ancient body of knowledge that heals through the sacred plants and roots and barks and oils that comes from the plants. And so in the Veda says, to maintain the cosmic harmony, honor every day your plants. So today, dedicated to I invoke the sacred in all plants. Like if you want to say in English to ritualize that particular step during the day, I invoke the sacred in all plants, and just look at the plant. If you don't have any plants at home, when you go out, you see the trees, you see the grass, you see the flowers. Take a moment to look. Every day, just a moment to see the sacred in the plant. The prolific nature that is given to us, the prolific colors, the fragrances, and the food we eat, of course, like we've seen that in the food initiation. And maybe it would also be nice to get a plant if you don't have a plant. Right? It's for the heart. The plants, the green one especially, open the heart. Then you have many other colorful plants that also open all the different channels on our bodies in different ways. And then we have our mantra. So if you have plants, of course we water the plants. Let's do it with love and care, recognizing the oxygen they give us, the air purifier they are, the healing qualities they have, and begin to talk to the plants, because the plants talk. See if we start to make friends with the plants and see, like, whenever you feel alone, you're not alone, you have your plants, just like you have your animals. And so the mantra for today is Om tulasyai namaha. Om tulasyai namaha. So it's Om tulasyai. On the sa, we stay a little bit longer on the sa, and it's a strong letter. Om tulasyai namaha. Om tulasyai namaha. Om tulasyai namaha. Om tulasyai namaha. Namaha has the puff, the namaha. And so here, namaha, my deep reverence, my love, my invocation to tulsi, is this plant tulsi. And you can also have, as you invoke the tulsi, you're also invoking all other plants, the spirit of all other plants and healing properties. So let's, if you want, you can close your eyes, or you can also, if you have many plants in your home, I know some of you have, you look at your plants and chant to them, sing to them. And otherwise you can close your eyes and offer this prayer to the trees, to the bushes, to the flowers, to the frangipanis, to the roses, to all the plant kingdom and queendom. Om tulasyai namaha. Om tulasyai namaha. Om tulasyai namaha. Om tulasyai namaha. You can also see yourself watering the plant. Om tulasyai namaha. 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 3 more times. Om tulasyai namaha. Om tulasyai namaha. Om tulasyai namaha. Take a moment to enjoy the immediate effect of chanting and of connecting with the plant queendom, kingdom. Acknowledging that plants exist, trees exist. We depend on them. We do not live without them. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Okay, thank you everyone. Let me know how this landed, this initiation. Keep chanting tulasyai. If you want to get it deeper, chant it 108 times. And thank you so much for your presence. I feel you through this screen, wherever you are. Today is the last day of the Super Maha Early Bird. Maha means big. Super Maha Early Bird for the Priestess Initiation Training that I host in Bali. It's an 18-day initiation into Priestess life from birth all the way to death. And so today ends the Early Bird. You can check it out or send me a message. Just go to my Devi School website, devischool.info/priestess line initiation. And there's many other ways if you want to continue joining me on this journey of life. Okay, it says, beautiful, so many tears as your words help me bring up the pain in my heart and release it. Yeah, the sacred tears. I'm just seeing how you offer the sacred tears to to the plants. Thank you. Like we're watering our own plant, we're watering our own seeds, and actually all the knowledge, like they're looked upon as seeds, and so our tears, our sacred tears, are watering these seeds of the Veda for our heart to bloom to the unique flower that we are. Thank you, Enrica. Oh, much love. See you tomorrow if we wake up. 28th day of Ritualize Your Life Challenge. Oh. Theo says, how beautiful to honor the plants. I didn't realize that I have cared for a tulsi plant for many years. That's amazing. Just knowing it as holy basil. Wonderful. You already have been connected. Oh, bye-bye everyone.